Hello, this is Aubrey Birch with Easy School Marketing, and I'm glad you're here with me today because we're going to talk about one very important thing. Let's talk about your school's newsletter, okay? 4 strategies to up-level your school's newsletter. Now, when I'm working with clients, a lot of times we'll go, because we're into holistic marketing, we want to look at everything, right? We want to see where the pockets and the holes are. We take a look at their newsletter, and either it's extremely text heavy and they've thrown everything but the kitchen sink in there, and you're like, what? How can I find something? Or it's not consistent, right? And it's all over the place. I'm like, how often do you send this? Or they don't have a weekly newsletter or anything consistent. And it's just like anyone who wants to send an email sends it out. So let's talk a little bit about the school's newsletter, okay? And what its purpose is. So, and speaking of purpose, let's just call it purposeful communication, okay? So how can you create purposeful communication in your school? Number 1, it's deciding what the purpose, the role of this newsletter is. Any communication goes out. What is its role, okay? What's its function? And this means like you're thinking, okay, if it's purpose, like a lot of times I encourage schools to use their weekly newsletter as like, basically you're reminding parents about things and you're telling them what's coming up, okay? So it's very informative. So if that's the purpose and the role that this newsletter, your weekly newsletter is doing, like that's their purpose, then it's going to help you figure out, okay, so if we want parents to know all this stuff, we need to make it really clear and simple and stuff like that, right? Okay. And you might have different newsletters. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll say, okay, there's this weekly newsletter, right? And that's really going to help inform our current parents, okay? Then we might have a monthly newsletter that is more about the overarching theme of the school, like highlights different classrooms, so you're always incentivizing selling to the next level, right? And even if you want to double, I always say, create content once and then use it several times. Maybe you send that monthly newsletter to people on your admissions wait list or who have signed up for other events through you that are external. Like, you have to see how all this fits together, but you define the purpose of each of these things. And then maybe you say, okay, so, during our fundraising season, we will have dedicated fundraising emails, okay? But those are not newsletters and they will happen on X amount of days, okay? And our teachers send communications on these days, or they don't send communications and they're using like an app like Homeroom to communicate. Like, you're thinking about your communication schedule and then you're identifying what the role is for your newsletter, okay? For any newsletter going out, any consistent communication going out, okay? So that's number 1, define the role. Define the role, people, and that will help you with everything else. Okay, number 2, we kind of hit on this. So let's say you've decided the role of your newsletter is to inform parents and to tell them about what's coming up. We need to make it easy for those parents. So whatever role you've assigned, you have to make it easy. There should be less words, more call to actions, short paragraphs, right? Short paragraphs, some photos, but it should not be a long, lengthy thing. Even if your head of school is writing, they should break up their paragraphs. They should bold and italicize something because people are scrolling. Less words, folks, or break up the paragraphs. Really make it something that people want to read, because the whole point of all this work producing it is so that you can help have people read it, right? So we want them to read it. I think we tend to be in the education world very wanting to use a lot of words, but we can't here. So let's let that go. Less words, or breaking them into paragraphs, make them easy to understand and read. Okay, number 3, this is a good one that I don't see a lot, that I do think you should add into your weekly newsletter. So let's say you have a weekly newsletter where you're informing parents. I say this is also a time to build social proof, right, with your current parents. So you should stick in a couple of testimonials from current parents. You can highlight current parents about like why they're loving the school and stuff like that. Why not? Because that, builds the social proof and people are like, oh yeah, people love it here. Or the 6th grade families are really happy. I should stay for 6th grade. It's subconsciously, building that social proof and that case for people to stay with you. All right. And number 4, newsletters are an opportunity to provide a connection to your school, the life of your school. So perhaps maybe your weekly newsletter highlights a staff member or something, right? So that the people are getting to know your school a little more as they're moving through. Or your monthly newsletter features content from and pictures and video from all sorts of the different divisions or grade levels that you have, so that you're really telling the story of your school. It is really important because to provide that connection and to use your newsletters wisely. I hope this was helpful. I'd like to know, send me some of your newsletters. I love to see them. And I am cheering you on every step of the way. Take care.